Okay, go. Go see Carp. Bye. Love you.
Here's Charlie. Hey, boy. Glad you could make it. Ready to go to work? Well, my lid turned out good. Much better than the first attempt. That little line you see there is where caulking was sealing the corners. Now, to ease this over into the kiln and leave it there for a couple days. So Charlie and I were discussing the bell that we're going to be casting next month. And honestly, it looks a little plain if you ask me. But it looks more like a machine base than a bell. It may be. The drywall guy has finished with this area, including the office in here. So this is all ready to paint. If I didn't say before, we're going to have a suspended ceiling up here and all the way around in here. So anyway, we haven't done any more painting, but we are ready for that now. And the next step is to go in here. I got most of this stuff on wheels now, so I can I need to touch base with Josie and see if she wants to finish painting before I bring this stuff in. But we got a lot yet to clear from the floor in this part. So I've already seen several issues with this, the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to have, because these core prints stick out past this area, I either need to fill this in with filler here, here, and on these 45 notches right there and right here, or I need to redesign the core box to fall within the perimeters of this surface coming up. That looks like it.
That's cool. Let me weigh out the next one.
Well, my friends, I have two friends from Iowa. Well, actually, they're both from Iowa. One still lives there in Des Moines. This is Bill Miller and his son Keith Miller, who lives in Connecticut. Now, Keith, I had introduced you, I believe, on an earlier video back when Keith Rucker and I were in Connecticut. We got to board two still commissioned submarines, the USS Delaware and the Newport News. At that time, Keith was on shore duty, and he was able to give us access. Well, of course, we couldn't take any video of the subs, but needless to say, Keith was the one responsible for arranging that, and I'll never forget it. Anyway, they're down here now, and they're helping out. First of all, we mulled a bunch of sand.
Changing our name to Mullers.
Yeah. Instead of Miller, it's Muller now. Anyway, we're going to be making a whole bunch of molds in non-ferrous and cast iron through this week while they're here. They're going to be here for how many days?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
4 or 5 days. Anyway.
So we're gonna try to accomplish a lot while they're here. They want to learn, and I'm willing to teach them. I just got to get a lot of stuff rolling, and they couldn't come at a better time. Even though we do have a lot of construction going on, nobody's working on the building today. But Monday we're going to have a drywall guy in here, along with a spray foam guy knocking out the ceiling. So we're trying our best to get this building done and work around all that at the same time, which is a major challenge. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce you to Bill and Keith.
It's not going to make the cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. And the other one hasn't been poured yet, so.
Okay. Well, we know it'll turn out, right?
Yep.
Y'all look like you know what you're doing.
3 buckets. 2 buckets down. That'll be enough for 2 more molds. As far as knowing what we're doing, I'm not too sure about that.
Y'all got it figured out, I believe. We have been making molds a couple days now, and Bill and Keith are doing a really good job. They're catching right on. So apparently all I'm doing is not that big a deal anyway. It's not that complicated, is it?
Maybe one of those Iowa boys, quick learners.
Yeah, they are from Iowa. And no, they're not my in-laws. They're not my in-laws are from Iowa. We'll be down in another day or two. So we'll be having to have a lot of corn and kraut and stuff like that. But I was surprised y'all don't eat kraut.
Sorry.
I thought everybody in Iowa ate kraut.
Sorry to disappoint. Sorry.
They do have pork tenderloin sandwiches, so everybody eats those up there, don't they?
That's true.
Yeah. So we got this aluminum part. This is one half of it, and the other one is going to require cores. I've gotten those made now. They're cooking in the kiln, and hopefully I'll have. It'd be nice if we could knock this out all tonight, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
We're doing it.
But we're gonna try our best. And this is for a local guy. It's some kind of a sheet metal brake. So we already have 3 made, which are right there. So this is the last one. And then we'll pour these. Hopefully they're going to all turn out. And then we're going to ram up the other half with the cores. And I'm going to be switching those out shortly. So we made a false drag for this. The false drag is on the bottom. And now we're making a new drag. So how are y'all feeling about molding so far?
I do not want to make it a life profession.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yes, it's tough work, but it is interesting work.
Definitely learned a lot.
And this gives Keith a break from the Navy. When do you have to report back?
A little break. Technically, I have 30 total days because I'm on transfer leave.
Okay.
So this is day 5 of my 30 total days.
Yeah. You could spend another
We could
20
hang out-
days
we
down
could
here.
hang out for 25 more days.
Yeah. There's no need for you to rush back. Yeah, we're gonna lose Keith after tomorrow. He's got to go back to Connecticut. To Mystic.
Mystic. A long drive ahead of me.
And that's where
We'll get there.
That's where he took Keith Rucker and I for a tour of the submarines. And I was telling him how, of all the things I would love to have out in this building, I want a World War II submarine commode. Man, those are the coolest looking toilets I've ever seen.
They are the... I can say it. He's gonna put this
Yeah, you
in.
can say it. I can just bleep it out. A commode with big old levers and turn handles.
And this keeps the air out by...
Yeah, it just helps keep that outer layer from weakening up from the oxygen, from drying out prematurely. And the clay, what you're doing is you're just extruding that clay to the surface now and smearing it, and that helps block the air.
Okay.
That's all you're doing is closing the pores.
You got to take a big breath and a big think about it right before you get your hands in.
You know, we just got through eating beans, and that particular movement, I better mute the camera.
Yeah, it's probably safe.
Yeah.
Then everybody's got to be glad there's no smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
Pinch them together since there's no
Now I look
registration
straight
cards.
up.
Yeah.
Another deep breath before I do any sharp twisting motion. That's not it.
And I saw why.
That's not it.
Your hand wasn't in the middle.
Felt like it was.
All right, guys. I'm messing him up with the camera, so we're going to come back. Good. There you go.
I think it might be.
Yep, you did it.
All right.
Just takes a little trial, error, and failures.
You got to be careful.
Yeah. I didn't show it on video yesterday, but we melted 40 or 50 pounds of brass cartridges. And for every, I think for every pound of brass, we had at least one cartridge go off in the melt. Bam. And I didn't get that on video, and I was telling them I don't know if I should even show anything that dangerous, but luckily our crucible survived.
It was just
Primers, but
there wasn't any loaded rounds.
There was loaded rounds in
the mix
that
we sorted out.
And luckily they sorted through them before I grabbed them and just started throwing them in there. Because I was about to.
That would have been ugly.
Yeah.
That would have taken a crucible out and put a little brass on your ceiling.
Yeah. And most of them were 357s, weren't they?
I had a couple 44 Magnums.
Yeah, and the 44 Magnums. And
a 9mm.
It was interesting.
Several 22s.
Get the wolf box.
The old wolf box.
There you go. It's coming, but it's a little tight.
Just keep it parallel. Parallel is the key to everything out here.
Set it back down in, I'll rattle some more.
Got it.
No, it's got to be more parallel. That was not very parallel. Well, lost a little bit of it, but
Oh, that ain't gonna hurt a thing.
that's where I'm going to cut the gate in now. So now I got to get it over there.
All right.
Lift it straight up, bring the pieces back.
Yep.
And then do more stuff to it. I don't think that was straight up enough.
Oh,
That'll buff. Look at it.
amateurs from Iowa.
So I think Charlie's turning into a Dalmatian. Charlie.
I don't think I've ever seen an angle grinder with a soft start on it.
It's nice. Sooner gave that to me. So this is breaking out. Getting real thin. This is the lid to the mullet. And Keith is a better welder than I am, so I'm going to let him do this. But he's forming a strip of metal that's going to reinforce this and tack it to the lid to help beef these hinge points up. All right, guys. So Keith Miller, he and his dad, as I have shown, are helping me out here, and they made a bunch of molds. We've got plenty of iron to pour. Looks like we're going to do it tomorrow. unfortunately, Keith has to head out today. But I wanted to thank Keith, and I wanted to ask him what all he's learned while he's been here, if he's learned anything.
It's harder than your castings right here. Well, I learned how to mull sand. I learned what goes into the green sand. Learned how to make cores. There's several different methods to doing that. They're all just as frustrating as the other ones.
Yeah.
Making the molds themselves, that's a process all on its own. That takes a lot of finesse, a lot of skill.
Yeah, there's
not easy.
No pushing a button and squirting a casting out here.
None of this is easy. There's a lot of things that'll hurt you here.
Yep.
It's a lot of hot metal, a lot of sharp things.
A lot of electrical
You gotta
problems.
Be careful. Everything here is to code, and no wasps were harmed in the making of this video.
That's right. Yeah.
Except for one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one, just one.
But they also, on top of that, helped me fix some stuff. My muller, for example, the lid was coming off of it, rotting off, and he was able to get that to hold up for a little longer. So we'll see how long that lasts. If it don't last more than a week, I'll let you know about it. Oh,
just don't get those welds on video.
Yeah, okay.
This is not that channel.
They'll think I did it anyway. But anyway, Keith, I want to thank you for coming out.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate everything I learned here so far.
Yeah. I hope you had a good time.
I did.
And Josie enjoyed having y'all. And even though she screwed up the first pie, I hope she made it up with the second one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, now it's down to his dad, Bill, and me to finish this out, and hopefully we'll have some good castings. We'll know Saturday, it looks like. This is the castings for the first half of that part, and they turned out okay. There was some sand that broke off on them, but I don't think that's going to compromise the integrity of what this tool does. I may go back and recast one of these. I don't remember which one it was, but they all broke off right there. There was really nothing we could do about that because we were using actual castings. Because of the piston that we're going to be casting for the locomotive, they're trying to hurry up and get back in operation. That if you're following along with vintagemachinery.org, we're fixing to be casting 2 pistons later in this video, or try. And I'm going to be showing that pour. So we're not going to be showing the bronze and the aluminum pours. You've seen enough of those. And the iron pour is worth waiting for. We had quite a fiery event. But anyway, yes, we also cast a bunch of brass parts. I didn't show that pour either because of the ammunition. But anyway, yes, those castings, we were supposed to cast the other half of these aluminum castings, and I did not have a flask big enough, and we needed to make 4 of them. So I told them we're going to go ahead and shut down on that job and get on making iron molds from there because we were running out of time. I only had these guys for a couple days after that, and I wanted to utilize every bit of time we had and try to knock out as many molds as possible. I didn't want to waste a lot of time building new flask. So now you know why I'm kind of skipping around here. We are about to make the mold for the pistons that go in the Vulcan engine down at the Georgia Agriculture. They are shut down right now. They cannot use the train until they get their pistons made. And they've got a lot of other work they have to do to this to make it right. If you've been watching vintagemachinery.org, they are tearing the Vulcan engine down now and discovering that they have an oval-shaped piston and an oval-shaped piston bore. So instead of machining down the piston undersized and then putting an oversized sleeve in, they want to go back with the original dimensions of the drawing. So We're going to work on this tonight. Bill and I, his son Keith, he left earlier today. He's missing out on all the fun. Because of the way we're going to have to assemble this, we're going to have to use chaplets. That's probably something I haven't shown on my channel before. So we're going to take a quick look. I've got Bill in there machining them now. And we're actually using cast iron chaplets that are going to probably be better for me to tell you that as we get to that point. But I will show you what we're working with. We already have a bunch of molds out here. A whole lot of straight edges, bearing caps, you name it, we got it. And we're not finished molding yet. This mold is the oldest of all of them, and it's been sitting here for a good month and a half now, or probably a month out in the elements. But when you look at the sand, it looks pretty good. So we're gonna pour it tomorrow along with all this other stuff. So I got Bill in here machining the chaplets, and what we're doing right now is we're taking old sprues and we're milling them down parallel, and then these are going to be little square sticks, and then that dimension this way is going to be the size of the button on the top and the bottom, and then we're going to turn these this way in the vise and mill out a waistline. We're going to try to get it down possibly to around 3/16 of an inch. We are using an aluminum flask for this because the piston is so big. So I had to dig the heavy aluminum flask out of storage for this purpose. Yes, I do have metal flask. I hate using the things. There's no sense in it when I can pick up a light wooden one, but this is a situation where we're going to have to deal with it. So if you have watched Keith's video on the steam engine that they're tearing down, you remember him telling about the 3 lug holes that are tapped, well we have 3 cord holes. And the reason for that's going to be core prints that are going to support the core that will rest in these spots here and elevate the core in the middle of the piston. And you'll see that shortly. Before I go any farther with this, we need to figure out how we're going to gate this. Now, I prefer to fill the bottom first. We have to do one of two things. We have to go ahead and create a parting line here and make another flask to go right here just to capture that, or we can simplify it with some of these simple 45-degree feeders, and they're going to lay right here, and these feeders, and we'll go ahead and pull the flask to this side. I can cut a runner in this parting line to tie into my sprue and fill this straight from these points, which go right down here to the bottom. We got a lot of iron to pour tomorrow. A lot. I'm going to hold these in place the best I can, and I'm going to tuck that sand up under the feeders. Like that. we're gonna slide the flask back over it temporarily to pour it because I don't have a jacket. This sand's gonna have to be pretty strong around those perimeters. All right. Oh, this is a lot of sand. I'm going to have to drag it down here, guys. I may need another hand. So I got to pick this up and get it on its edge, and then I'm going to lay this board on the back side, and it's going to stay on that board the rest of the time. Once I flip it over, it won't be turned back up. So if you could lift that side,
Which way are we going?
I'm going to go up, and we're going to bring this side over and rest it right there. I could have done it myself, but it's a lot easier with an extra hand. Let's see. Let's center that. Okay. Perfect. That'll work.
Oh, those are your...
Yeah. So that'll take care of feeding it down below.
Nice.
These right here, this sand is going to be a little loose where I did my best to tuck that on my fingers. I'm going to just push that down. It's not going to hurt a thing. But we want to make sure that that's good and packed in there. And I'm going to remember to put my sprue right here. Disregard that. Nothing important. Now when I get ready to separate this, I'm going to set the whole thing down on the floor where I can pick straight up on this. So as I said, we're going to punch our sprue right here. And then the fun part begins. We'll make sure those are locked in. And they are. 1.5. was easy. Got way off on my dimension though. Alright. I'll do better the next time, I hope. That's going to be a problem. I gotta fix that. I don't like doing it like this because it rarely ever holds, but I screwed up. Should have never blew that out. We don't want that blowing iron out if we can help it. So I didn't quite get it in the middle. I miscalculated. I was trying to blow compressed air through where the riser is, and anyway, I popped the pattern out, broke the sand loose. I'm going to put a little more sand in the drag before I assemble it. This is the drag, and I'm going to be feeding down. I've got a runner right here that's overhead, and it'll connect into the end of these 45-degree gates that taper and shoot down to the bottom and feed it. As you can see right there, the core is going to set right here, and it's going to be elevated 1 inch from that face, clearing this by 1 inch on this face. So this is why I got to put those chaplets in there. So I put a really big riser in this thing, almost as big as my fist, and I'm probably going to shave down that length of the neck to blend it with this diameter, just keep the heat down closer to the casting as I can. This is the drag, of course, with the core setting in it. The core is going to have chaplets. We're making those now, and the chaplets will set on top of the core and keep it from floating up into the ceiling of the cope as we're pouring the cast iron in there. So this is the actual size of the pattern put together. Piston's going to be 5 inches by 11 in diameter, and of course this is a core box that made the core that's going to set down in there and rest their feet here. I just double checked my math to make sure we get the chaplets the right length before we install them. But anyway, it's going to be still going to be a pretty good sized chunk of iron to pour. So this is some of the stuff that we cast this week. Got a lot of brass stuff that we're casting for something. Couldn't tell you what. And we've got another like a dash pot, steam fittings, valves. So that's all that we did on the non-ferrous job.
I may stay on my knees.
All right. Bill has been here for how many days?
About a week.
About a full week.
Yeah.
And we knocked out a bunch of molds last night. His son had to leave earlier, as I showed, and Bill showed up really refreshed, anxious to get to work, and now he's ready to get the hell out of here.
Deep down.
Yeah. So, what all did you pick up from this experience while you were here?
Learning from the master at Windy Hill Foundry.
What not to do?
Casting metal is not for the timid.
No, it isn't.
You better have what's going on, because it can go sour in a heartbeat if things aren't just right.
And it's too soon for me to tell you. I'll bring you back after Bill leaves. I'm going to finish cleaning the castings up, and I'll know for sure how many good ones we got. We did scrap some last night, and it was, a lot of it was because I had my pouring lip on the furnace too wide. It was trying to pour more iron than the little sprues would allow, and I was trying not to start any more fires than I had to, as you saw earlier where we were pouring these. So but yeah, I just wanted to thank Bill for coming down and giving us a hand on this. He and his son both, they knocked out quite a few molds, and I think we poured about 1,000 pounds last night, and we ran out of fuel right as we were pouring the last of it. But the furnace was so hot, we were able to pour 6 or 7 more molds even with no fuel. So the thing keeps its heat well. But anyway, Bill, I do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you teaching me what you know. That's
you didn't have much to learn then.
I had a lot to learn. I have poured a couple little pieces of brass, but not with very much success. So now I think I got a little better handle on it, and I will definitely stay away from cast iron.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
It's a whole different beast. I got a lot of people think they want to jump right into cast iron.
Yeah, don't.
Nah.
Unless you want to spend a couple $100 grand getting set up
Yeah.
right in the first place. That's just not. No.
Yep.
Send it to Clark. Let him do it.
It's rough. All right, guys. Well, Bill, thanks a lot.
Good to work with you.
And we'll
maybe I'll see you next March. Won't be here this March.
I hope so.
Maybe next March.
Hopefully so. I'll definitely let you know what's happening by then.
Okay.
I'll bring you back to the castings here shortly. So the tall mold that was out here that I was telling you about, that was here the longest, that's been out here in the rain and everything else for the last month and a half, that was the second attempt on the Stoker steam engine piston rings that we failed to pour the first time, and I didn't show it this time. So if you want to see what they turned out looking like, you'll have to tune in to Keith Rucker's VintageMachinery.org in order to see him machining them. So I've already delivered them to him along with the brass stuff. All that brass was his, and he'll be machining those parts in an upcoming video, I'm sure. The castings that I will show you that we cast the other night, they look good. I did have some scrap, but as I said earlier, I didn't have the pouring lip narrow like I usually do. It was super wide, and it was trying to pour way too much in a very small pouring basin, and that's why we kept having all the repeated fires, and I ended up pouring short because I was having to hold off, and when I did, it aspirate. So I got a few castings there in a pile that we ruined because of that, and the 2 attempts to pour the pistons so far didn't go as planned either. They blew out, but there was something else that I didn't tell you. We ran out of time trying to get the chaplets made, and we decided to take a shortcut and stick some 16 penny nails in the sand in the cope to try to hold those cores in place. It didn't work. And if you go back and review the pouring video of that one piston, you'll see that the float, you'll see that the core just broke the nails through the upper part of the mold, and then all of a sudden it just started gushing iron out the side. So I'm fixing to show you those along with some other stuff. First, the good. These, I believe, are going to make it. I've already cut the gates on them. I don't see any problems. No inclusions, so we did at least get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 good 18-inch straight edges. Then we come over here to the pile. That's one of the pistons right there. This is the other piston right here. As I said, the core floated up and hit the ceiling. That's why you see an exposed core there. And this one did the same thing. And when it did, it just pushed those nails all the way to the top. So we had some failures, but it wasn't anything to do with my help. They did a good job. Matter of fact, they took off running with this stuff. I didn't have to answer much. They had very few questions for me once I got them started. So yeah, I am very thankful they were able to come out and give me a hand. And this is a riser for Keith's lathe, and I'll show that when we get ready to ram it up again. I didn't get that on video. There was just so much going on. What is it, Charlie? What you wanting? So there was so much going on. I didn't video a lot of the stuff that we were trying to get turned around. But since a lot of this stuff failed, you'll see it anyway. But anyway, guys, that's it. I hope y'all have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later. Charlie, come here. Oh man, you got into it. You got into it, Charlie. You look like Dollar now. Dollar's a bad influence on you. So I'm getting a mount ready to where I can permanently put my gyro sieve right here. And this is where all my sand's going to be piled, ready to go straight in a muller. Right now these are straight out of the mold. And this pile here will be run through the gyro sieve, which is going to be mounted up here. So I'm going to safely try to weld 3 points of contact to where this point is and do away with that wall bracket, because it's shaking that entire wall. So everything's going to be shaking from the roof instead. One point, 2 points. Then I'll go back down there and weld. By the way, have I told you guys I'm scared of heights? So this is before the siever, and that's after the siever. Before, after. So it's straight, it's ready to go straight into the muller from here. So the twerking gyro is well over 100 years old. And as you can see, these are not steel, these are mahogany rails that come down through here. And all of it's got, for the most part, either rivets or square nuts and bolts. Pretty cool. It is amazing how many views Leo got on the tally-ho. So Keith Rucker and I, we decided we're going to buy this old Civil War flat bottom boat for $1, and we're going to completely restore it. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.